So as we pointed out, Mahua Moitra continues to be defiant. She continues to fight this battle alone. It's important to focus on this, that till now, the TMC MP is only defending for herself. We haven't seen an official word come in from the party. Once again, you have the TMC MP, Mahua Moitra, now taking to the social media platform X. And this is what she has said, and I'm quoting from the tweet that she's put out. Got a message about the impending CBI raid. I'm busy with Durga Puja. I invite the CBI to come home and then count my pairs of shoes. So she's taken a slight dig there as well. But first, please file an FIR into the 13,000 crore rupees coal money, which in fact has been stolen from Indians, end quote. So that's another tweet that in fact has been put out by Mahua Moitra, who, as we point out, continues to fight this battle alone. We're still not hearing any official word as far as the TMC is concerned. Now, before we bring in our colleague, let's break down the details in terms of what are the kind of allegations against her. What have we heard, not just from Nishikant Dubey, but also from Darshan Hiranandani and his advocate. Remember, Darshan Hiranandani at this point has turned an approver. Now, let's talk about the letter which has been written by the advocate Anand Hedrai, in fact written to the CBI, and he's listed a whole lot of luxury gifts that he alleges that Mahua Moitra in fact received. So let's break down those details. The first on that list is luxury phones. He said that the iPhones were received. Then he's spoken about jewelry as well. He says diamond and emerald jewelry in fact was received as well. He then goes on to talk about various other luxury items like Hermes and Louis Vuitton scarves. He doesn't end there. He in fact lists a whole host of other luxury items as well, which talks about luxury shoes and wines among that whole host of items as well. As we pointed out, in the list it says she was a recipient of dozens of French and Italian wines as well. Further speaks about more luxury cosmetics from Dubai as well, and some more luxury bags like a Gucci leather bag among many others. Also talks about some other ultra luxurious bags. But what is important to focus is the point that in fact all these allegations are making, that there are two allegations. One, there is an allegation of bribery, and the other allegation is, and that has a big question mark against it, whether the credentials of this parliament login in fact were compromised. But let's bring in our colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who's been keeping a close eye on all those developments. Pallavi, we continue to see these tweets being put out by Mahua Moitra on social media, but till now she's again fighting a fight just for herself. The TMC still continues to be silent.
Absolutely, and the Trinamool Congress is saying that it's Durga Puja and that's the reason why we don't get into it. But we all know that in politics there really are no breaks, Ridhima. Top TMC sources have been telling us is that we are watching the situation. We are not so sure about which side is correct, and we are waiting for the investigations to go on, and that's the reason that at this point of time they're not coming out with any statement in favor of Mahua Moitra. Also, Ridhima, largely Mahua's fight against a corporate group has been on her own. If you notice the track record, the Trinamool Congress inside or outside the parliament has raised other issues. For example, the CBI or the ED raids on Abhishek Banerjee or him being called by ED. So their focus is more on Abhishek Banerjee rather than on Mahua Moitra's twist with the Adani issue or the corporate sector. So that's where the lonely fight, I would say, of Mahua Moitra is taking place. She's facing a challenge from two sides. One, of course, within the ethics committee, and second, of course, in case the CBI steps in and begins its investigation. Serious allegations against her also that she's given the login details of her parliament site to an outsider who's also a businessman, which is also seen as a hazard as far as the national security is concerned. So as the heat mounts on her, she's clearly fighting back and brazening it out, throwing it across the table, the ball back into the court of the BJP.
Pallavi, as you rightly pointed out, the allegations are very serious, specifically not just the bribery allegation, but whether these credentials were compromised. And if the ethics committee is convinced, she could lose her status as a member of parliament. Just quickly, I want to talk about the criticism that is coming from Mahua Moitra, where she's hit out at Darshan Hiranandani, saying that it looks like that the PMO has dictated this letter. Secondly, also saying, why come he hasn't been summoned by any agency so far? So what is the protocol in a case like this?
So the question that she is raising is, and which she did in her statement, is that while Jay Anand and Nishikant Dubey have been summoned by the ethics committee because they are ones who made that complaint, and at some point of time Mahua Moitra will also be called to give her version. In the case of Darshan Hiranandani, there was no investigation order in his case. Why is it that after remaining silent, distancing himself from the first reaction he gave that he has got nothing to do with the case, why is it suddenly 2 days later he comes out with a detailed statement? Her insinuation is that he's been asked to give this statement so that he gets off the hook. And also she says that it's laughable that a businessman like him is talking about coming under pressure from Mahua Moitra when she's just an opposition member of parliament. You know, we are going to see this tutu by back and forth take place. She's very clearly making the point that, my login details were given to an intern in office and I don't have to be here. In fact, she's saying that there are many members of parliament who do that. Why don't you come out with details of that? So without very clearly mentioning it, she's clearly distancing herself from the fact that she gave the login details to someone else or a third party or a businessman. Rather, she's trying to suggest that she was very much there, but not necessarily in Delhi. I think now the challenge will be for the NIC to find out the day that login was made. Was she in Delhi? Was she in Parliament? And was it made from an outside IP address?
Pallavi, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details.